Hi, I'm Gio. I'm from Peak Performance Physical Therapy at the Island Park office. And I'm here to talk to you about directional bias in patients with spondylolisthesis. So 4% of the population has a grade 1 spondy, which means there's a slight anterior slippage of the spine. In school, they typically tell us to stay more flexion biased and avoid extension. But in the 90s, there was a research article that came out called The Efficacy of Flexion and Extension Treatments Incorporating Braces for Lower Back Pain from Spondy. And what they did is they took a third of the patients and they braced them in slight extension, a third in neutral, and a third in slight flexion. And the results were the people that were braced in slight extension actually did better. So what I would do is I would first bring the patient in and unload them in a supine position. I would have them do repeated flexion in lying, so they grab both their knees and bring it towards their chest. You could have the patients do 10, 20 reps, whatever it takes for them to change their symptoms. If the symptoms get better, then it is probably a spondy that's causing the pain, and I would stay with a flexion bias program. If the symptoms get worse, then there's probably an underlying disc issue that's going on. So what I would do is I would stop the patient, I would flip them over into a prone position, and have them do repeated extension in lying, but only through mid-range. You do not want to go to end range because then you could affect the spondy. Ask the patient how their symptoms are changing. If the symptoms are getting better, then they probably is a disc issue that's causing the pain. So I would keep them in an extension bias program. The only way I wouldn't do an extension program with these patients is if there was a trauma or there's any neural compromise. So the take-home message is, don't be afraid to test flexion and extension in these patients and go by their symptoms. If their pain is getting worse, peripheralizing, going further away from the spine, then I would probably stop. If the pain is centralizing or abolishing, then you're probably going in the right direction. Thank you.